On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are breaking down some exciting projections where Bo Nix is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year, and it's not coming from a local company. It's coming from a national outlet. Let's dive into this starting now. We are Bo Nix number of Mondays away from Broncos Chiefs kicking off this season, and 10 weeks from now, we will be breaking down the Broncos taking on the Chiefs tonight. It's going to be exciting, and we are here to break down Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes. We've got some fun stats coming your way. We're going to do it live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. We are the DNVR Broncos podcast. Henry Chisholm, you here behind the camera, and Zach Stevens rocking and rolling with you today. Hank, how we doing?
Good. Excited for the soccer game last night. The two games yesterday were both unbelievable. Yeah, I'm still not sure about the watch along. Ooh, that's the current thing. Two people have said they can do the watch along tonight. Oh, there's a third?
Here's your mic on?
Yes, it is now.
It wasn't on. Now we want to hear your beautiful voice.
Yeah, sorry. I was more distracted with the actual show. Three of them. It'll be you, Eric.
Wait, me?
Oh, no. Eric, Bo, Dwayne.
And Henry.
And Henry.
So, because Lexi's family's in town and wanted to watch the game here. And so we're hoping to watch with them, but
Well, watch-alongs happen here.
Yeah,
So you can
upstairs.
be here and with the
Right.
family.
Well, not really, because they would be downstairs.
Why don't they just join for the watch-along?
I don't think anybody wants that.
We should have a little family watch-along tune-in sessions.
Yeah. So my job is to get here in about 3 hours or less, get a big table,
Wow.
which we'll see if I get to use or not.
Wait, why wouldn't you? Oh, because you might have
Could
to
be
be
the
up
watch
here.
along. Yes, could be the watch along.
Wow, so you're planning on getting here at 2 p.m. At the absolute latest.
At the latest. So I was thinking that the Portugal-Spain game was at 2, but it's actually at 1. But I think I need to drop my car off and bring a scooter back. And so current plan is just to go straight from here to there to scooter back and just take the laptop to the bar for the next, what would that be? That'd be 5 hours. That's not bad.
So you're gonna.
I might be a little late.
You're dropping the car off so you can just pound some Coors Lights at the bar all day and night.
Oh, we'll see. There could be a lot of Coors Lights.
I love it. Like you said, yesterday was a great sports day with the World Cup. We had the 4th of July as well. Happy 4th to everyone. Shout out to all the awesome fireworks that were out there. 250 was going on. Did you do anything to celebrate the 4th, Henry?
Yeah. So let's see. Lexi and her family went to the mountains Friday. And so I was just going to stay at home and watch the soccer. Wound up just getting a ticket to the Rockies game.
I thought you were going to say wound up going to the mountains.
No.
With her and her family.
Girls trip. They get to do that, and I get to watch the baseball. Went home before the fireworks. I was the only one who paid the 4th of July premium to go watch the baseball, but wasn't really all that interested in the fireworks
That
after.
is insane. The Rockies always have the best fireworks.
They do. But we live like 2 blocks away.
So did you watch him?
No.
That's oh my God.
I started, I
crazy.
opened the door to the balcony. I was like, well, I can listen to him. And I was like, well, that is way too loud, and shut the door.
Oh
and
my God.
Played a little FIFA, and that was my night.
Was that the night where a firework fell onto the field and kind
Oh.
of lit a fire?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, where all the
Wow.
people were sitting on the field. Yeah, that was either Friday or Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I was there Friday. And then we went back Sunday as well, which was a fun one. Kyle Karras with the 3-run home run to take lead in the 8th.
Of course,
That was a
yeah.
good one.
Locked in on that game.
Yep.
You got to see 2 wins then, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they win both of those?
They're pretty good
But
now.
they lost Saturday, so maybe
They
you're
did lose Saturday.
They're not good right now. Anyone that's not following
Hey,
the Rockies,
they're
don't let
climbing the
Henry.
standings.
They're what?
Climbing the standings. They're now 28th.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it was a
let's
solid
go.
month when they
They're
were sitting
pretty
there in
good now,
30th.
according to Henry.
And they're, what, if they improve by a game, they could get up to 25th. 6.
Watch out. Watch out.
How far away are they from the wild card?
Oh, quite a ways.
Okay.
I think
that's what really
they're 12
like,
games back.
It's actually in baseball. That's actually
not
not
too
that
bad.
bad. Yeah, I thought it's
That's
gonna
not
be
too
more
bad.
like 25.
Yeah.
We've seen crazier things with
I mean-
Rocktober.
Yeah, that's actually not horrible. I thought it would be way worse.
I got to
Yeah.
talk about some crazy things that are happening. Henry, these projections that we're going to get into. Yesterday, ESPN drops every single year. Mike Clay does a great, crazy job with this. He predicts stats for every single player that like might see the field on offense and defense for every single team for the entire season. And it is just insane work. It's very impressive. And I always like looking at them. Yesterday, I was like, man, I haven't seen these yet. Have they come out? They dropped just a couple of days ago. And something that blew my mind was where Mike Clay has Bo Nix in terms of quarterbacks in the AFC West, quarterbacks in the entire NFL, because, man, it still feels like we're still in that phase where it's like the Broncos are being disrespected, whether it's with wins, whether it's with power rankings, whether it's with Bo stats. It seems like people still haven't fully bought in. I'll tell you what, Mike Clay has fully bought in on Bo Nix and the Broncos. So, of course, when I open up this massive index yesterday with all these stats, first thing I look at is Bo Nix's stats. Henry, have you had a chance to look at them yet?
No. So when you said
Oh, I
that we
like
had
this.
those, I was confused because I thought it was Matt Miller who made them.
Oh,
But no, it's a Mike Clay thing. And so he saw that the stats came out, and I was like, wouldn't have thought he would have time or that he would be publishing things at the moment.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it's Mike Clay who does them, which makes a lot more sense.
Mike Clay
But then, so
really
I specifically did not want to look.
Mike Clay does not want to be in the same confusion
No.
space as Matt Miller right
No,
now.
there, in no way does he want any of the afflictions that Matt Miller has at the moment.
None. No.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see how ESPN handles that as well.
Yeah.
Because
It's a shame we had the Diana Rossini thing and this so close together because, like, I feel like the Diana thing still just kind of overshadows it.
Yeah. I mean, two pretty massive scandals in the
Yeah.
media. Let's hope you and me aren't next.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would yours be for?
Well, I'm not going to say it. But once people find
yeah,
out,
that's
I'm
smart.
in trouble.
That's smart. Yeah.
I think it has to be like something Rocket related. It turns out that Hank's been having an affair with like Dinger this whole time.
No, I hate
Wow.
that guy. I really hate that guy.
How would that work? Oh, maybe that is a way that he's covering it up right now. It's saying that he really hates Stinger.
And that's gonna be Hank's big media scandal.
I was in the front row on top of the Rockies dugout on Friday,
Okay.
and Dinger does his stupid thing on the dugout and gives everybody high fives, and I was not touching that disgusting dinosaur.
Listen to this. He's giving everyone high fives, and Henry can't.
Nope.
Henry can't handle high
Nope.
fives.
Not from him. Not into Dinger.
Not into Dinger. All right, he's on record saying that. So Henry, I'm glad that you didn't look. Thank you for not looking. What would you guess Mike Clay has Bo Nix doing this year in terms of passing yards, passing touchdowns, interceptions, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns? And I will give you a little bit of a hint because at least I think that this would help me. Every time I look at these stats, I'm always surprised at how muted they are. And I just need to remind myself that just like betting lines for like over-unders, there's never going to be a team that's at like 14 and a half, even though there's a chance a team could have 15 wins. Like the highest is always like 12 and a half or maybe even 11 and a half sometimes. And that's the case with these stats as well. Everything's kind of muted. The worst quarterbacks in the league don't have the worst stats or don't have like awful stats. The best quarterbacks in the league don't have the crazy Peyton Manning 50 touchdown stats. So I'll give you that hint there as you predict what the Broncos or what ESPN is predicting Bo Nix does. I like this, a prediction of a projection.
Yeah. And I hadn't really thought about the numbers for Bo, so it makes it kind of tough. You know, I go back to last year's stats. I think the tough thing with Bo is, so he had the most passing attempts in the NFL last year. And so that's why the big thing with him is just the efficiency. Like, take those attempts and just fewer missed throws. Under 4,000 yards last year, despite having that many passing attempts. So one of those two things to me is going to change. Either they keep throwing the ball that much, and again, like there's always a lot that goes into that. The Broncos also throw more screens than anybody else. And so, of course, you're going to have more pass attempts because you're replacing some of your run game with that and whatever, and it'll skew numbers. So I have to think about what Mike Clay would think. And I would think Mike Clay would say he's not going to have the most pass attempts.
Okay.
And because of that, I'll say that despite fewer pass attempts, the rest of the stats stay pretty similar.
Okay.
So it was 3,900 yards last year. I'll say because there are fewer pass attempts, it's 3,750.
Okay.
Maybe 38.
Okay.
25 touchdowns.
Wait, really quick.
Yep.
How many pass attempts did he have last year?
612.
612. Okay, so those go down is your guess.
Yep.
I'm not going to make you put a number on that, but those go down.
Yep.
His passing yards are at 39, you said? No, they were at 39 last year. So
I'll say
3750.
I'll go 3750.
Okay,
3,800
I like
is tempting, but I'll go 3750.
Okay.
Touchdowns, I'll say they were 25. I'm tempted to say they go up, but it'd be going against my philosophy here. I'll say they go up to 27.
Okay.
Then the interceptions, I'll say they go down to 11 last year. They go down to 6. Again, just fewer mistakes combined with fewer opportunities to make mistakes.
6 would be incredible.
It really would be. And it's probably a bad guess for Mike Clay, but I mean, that's got to be what you're trying to The thing about Bo Nix is that everybody outside of Denver calls him a game manager when game managing is kind of the thing that he's worst at. He's more like big play Bo and extend play Bo. But I would think that would kind of be the emphasis this year. And because of that, the interceptions get cut back.
Okay, I like that. What about rushing yards and rushing touchdowns?
Let's see. So he had 83 carries for 356 last year, 5 touchdowns. Man, those could really go anywhere. I think there's one thought would be as the weapons around him get better and coming off the injury and he develops as a passer, he doesn't need to rely on the legs so much. And so those numbers come down. But I almost think that if you have more of a deep threat and you're hitting passes downfield consistently, in part because we saw him do it at the end of last season, and in part because you now have a weapon who's great down there, you get to stretch the defense out so much that you should be, at the very least, running more efficiently, even if there are fewer attempts. So I'll say he goes from 356 to 425, and the 5 touchdowns. Man, I sometimes forget that we're predicting his predictions and not what's really going to happen.
Yeah, we're predicting his projections.
Yep. So I'm still going to say the rush yards go up because I think he's a smart guy.
Okay.
Based on he likes numbers. And I'll say touchdowns stay the same, although in my predictions, the touchdowns would go up significantly.
Significantly?
I'd say they go from 5 to 8. Maybe I'm tempted to say 9, but I'll say 5 he sticks with 5.
I love this. And Henry, we're going to get to the real answer and see how close you were in just a second. But I did notice Yahir has put in a question of the day. And so we want to hear from you. We've had some people been dropping their guesses for Bo's stat lines. I also want to hear your question, your answer to the question of the day. Who's the most underrated player on the Broncos roster heading into the 2026 season? I'll ask Henry that at the end of the show. Drop your answers here so we can review them and then get to that at the end of the show. But Henry has Bo Nix going for, what is that? About 4,300 passing and rushing yards combined. You had 27 touchdowns and 8 rushing. So you have 35 total touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Sign me up for that right now. Would you sign up for Mike Clay's projections? We're going to get to that coming up next.
Shout out to our friends over at Xfinity. Xfinity's awesome. Good internet's important. There's so many different things that you could be streaming right now. The tennis is good right now. The soccer is great right now. The Rockies are hot as well. So make sure that you're making sure that you have the best internet that you can have so that you can stream things, so that you can upload big files or download things. Because there's a lot of devices that you're going to have connected to your Wi-Fi. So you want to make sure that you have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi like Xfinity provides. It sends the most power to the devices that need it the most. It finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Basically has a 6th sense. So it's super convenient. And if you sign up now, you can get their 5-year price guarantee. So you get Xfinity's service for the exact same price for 5 years, but with no annual contract, no hidden fees, and all of Xfinity's best equipment included. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
How about this? The best roofers in Denver are on DNVR's team. Go with the pros at Red Hawk Roofing. Not only are they part of DNVR's team and the best roofers, but they're great people as well. And over at Red Hawk Roofing, get your roof checked once a year. We've had some hail around the Denver metro area. In fact, some pretty big hail. So now is the time to get it checked. It's like preventative medicine for your home. There's no project too small for their guys at Red Hawk. They're your go-to for everything from minor repairs to full roof replacements on your home or business. They've got long-lasting relationships that matter with their customers, quality materials, decades of experience, a quick response time, and a free no-obligation roof and property inspection with a free in-depth photo report for all inspections. And remember, you can't always see how bad the damage is to your roof from the ground. Get the professionals over at Red Hawk Roofing and support locals like Red Hawk Roofing by giving them a call at 720-771-8921. Make sure to tell them that DNVR sent you or check them out over at redhawkroofing.com. Shout out to everyone tuning in with us on this magnificent Monday. Really appreciate all the love and support that we're getting and love hearing from people in the Twitter chat. And if you can't tune in live to give us your feedback and input, make sure to just comment below. I always go back every day and read what people are saying and looking at their projections and predictions. And Henry just gave us what he predicts Matt Clay's projections are. And I got to say, Henry, I'm impressed with how close you were.
Were the interceptions the bad one?
Yes, and rushing touchdowns were the bad one. Those two things kind of pulled you away. But otherwise, pretty darn impressive. Passing yards for Bo Nix, according to Matt Clay. You said 3,750, and you said I'm tempted to go 3,800. He's 3,871. 3,871 passing yards from Bo Nix, which, as
attempts?
you said, 565 attempts.
Oh, so big drop. So 50 less.
Big drop, but I believe he still has the third most attempts, if not the second most attempts in the NFL, but a big drop from last year. 64.4% completion for Bo.
So better.
Would you take that?
Man, it's always tough. You would feel better about Bo at the end of the year if he was more efficient this year than he was last year. At the same time, a bigger jump than that would really open up a lot more doors, and so I don't think I would take it. I'm willing to just bet on Bo and hope he does better.
Bet on Bo for over the 64.4. Okay. Would you take 3,871 passing yards right now? You can sign up for it and guarantee that for yourself.
I don't think so. I mean, I just think there's so much more out there. Again, like that would make him, it'd be 100 fewer less than last year, which is pretty good, but I think you need more. And also, like, what was the completion percentage?
64.4.
So that would put him, outside the top 20 last year. And it's a little skewed because, like, I guess Jake Browning, his 5 games were enough. Among starters, it'd be outside the top half.
Okay.
And I just think the way that this offense is supposed to run, you need better than that.
I agree with you. I would pass on both of those things right now. Now, at the end of the year, would I be disappointed if Bo gets 3,871 passing yards? No, I wouldn't be disappointed.
That'd be improvement if you do it more efficiently.
But would I be signing up for that right now? No, I don't think so. Passing touchdowns, Bo had 25 last year?
Yeah.
And you said 27 this year?
I did.
In the projections, predicting the projections? Right in the middle. 26. 26 passing touchdowns. Again, would I be okay with this? Yes, I would be okay with this. Would I sign up for this? No, because I believe he could go for 30 and have that would 26 be his second worst season? I guess just like second best season as well.
Right.
But no, I wouldn't sign up for that. With Jalen Waddle, with Davis Webb, with Sean Payton being able to help the offense in different ways this year, I wouldn't sign up for it, but again, wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah, and I think there's always so much more. Like if JK is healthy and runs for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, then sure, sign me up for all this other stuff with Bo, because that's enough to patch the offense together. But I do think in a vacuum, those Bo numbers, he's capable of doing more.
I completely agree. Interceptions. Last year it was 11.
Yeah.
You almost cut that in half.
Yep.
This is the one that I would take your number over everything else in this. If I could get it to 6, we're talking about that would be the best number that we could see from Bo. Instead, it stays right at 11.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, we'll see. There are guys who do that. I mean, Jalen Hurts played 16 games, only had 6 interceptions. He's one of those guys who I think plays very similarly to Bo. The difference is if once they banned the tush push, there's hardly any difference between the two of them at all. Jordan Love played 15 games, only threw 6 picks. Cam Ward, Caleb Williams played every game, only threw 7 picks.
Wow.
So there are a bunch of quarterbacks who I don't necessarily think are better than Bo, and I think in a lot of ways have a lot of similarities to Bo, who have been able to get into that range. And then there's obviously like Aaron Rodgers can throw 45 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in his prime. And that's
not
like
anymore.
Not anymore. But that's like, there is a level that would be too much, but I do think that 6 is on the board, assuming that their priorities are what I think they should be, which is just find a way to up the efficiency in that passing attack. Even if the volume doesn't come with it, just if you get that efficiency up, you lean on the run game, it'll really set the table for everything else you want to do.
Well, and isn't a big thing about Jalen Waddle's addition for Bo is that Bo doesn't have to create every big play for the offense anymore. Like the big plays don't have to come on the 50-50 balls down to Courtland Sutton. The big plays can come on a 5-yard slant that Jalen Waddle catches and takes 50 yards or takes 80 yards to the house or takes 30 yards for a touchdown. And that's something that should help Bo's stats a ton.
Right.
Is he doesn't have to make the crazy plays in order to get the crazy results. He can get the crazy results from just easy plays that are being made right there. And then on top of that, then that opens up Courtland Sutton so that the 50-50 balls, which in the past are like 70-30 balls that favor Courtland, are now 90-10 because you're not able to double Courtland on every play. So it makes those more even efficient. And that's kind of what you're talking about with Bo's numbers is you just want to see a lot more efficiency right there. And man, if he's able to cut those interceptions in half or almost half, whew, that is, I mean, some of those numbers that you mentioned for other guys last year, those seem like, it seems impossible, but clearly it's not. Right. So I would sign up for 6 or 7 in a heartbeat right now. Wouldn't sign up for 11 just because I do think Bo has that in him to have fewer.
Yeah, only 7 players had more than 11 last year.
Who was it?
Not the guys you want to be associated with. You do have Justin Herbert. Trevor Lawrence had a decent year, and Sam Darnold had a good year. Yep. Other than the 14 interceptions, but it's also Geno, Tua, and JJ McCarthy in 10 games.
So you and what did the other 3 guys who were good? What were their touchdowns compared to the interceptions?
So let's see. The good ones were Darnold. He also had 25 like Bo. Herbert had 26, and Trevor Lawrence had 29.
Okay.
Did anybody have 30 last year? Somebody must have. Yeah, 4 guys. Dak, Drake May, Jared Goff, and then of course Stafford had 46.
Yep. And then what did those other 3 guys have?
30, 31, 34. Man,
so Stafford really did earn the MVP last year.
Yeah.
46, and second was 34? Now, I know Jalen Hurts had, a lot of rushing, and some other guys had some rushing as well, but holy cow.
Drake May did complete 72% of his passes, though.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if that's some sort of record.
So I need... Drew Brees might have the record if it's not Drake May.
Yeah. I wonder.
Yes, because Drake May has the completion percentage in Patriots history, which is pretty crazy considering the other guy that played there for a long time.
Completion percentage. Man, he's on a lot of leaderboards. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm on the Drew Brees page because I was curious about Drew Brees. So his best completion percentage, no wonder there were so many leaderboards. That makes way more sense. He had a 74.4 and a 74.3. So he had 2 better than Drake May.
That's like Bo Nix in college right there.
It is. So he led it in 2025, but didn't make the top 10 all time.
Okay.
Yep.
But still very impressive right there.
Yeah.
Wait, really quick, because Ryan's not here, safe space, Henry.
Yep.
I won't tell this to Ryan. Are you in or out on Drake May? Because Ryan is all the way out.
I mean, man, I would take the under on. So I'd obviously take the under on everything he did last year.
Okay.
He's not putting up those numbers again. I'd be tempted, assuming the lines are reasonable to take the unders on the rest of his stats just based on whatever public opinion is. Like, I do think I'm probably lower than others.
That's
At
fair.
the same time, when you have a guy who is just that physically gifted with an arm like that and just completed 72% of his passes, there's a capability there that you can't just totally ignore. So there is a chance that in 5 years he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I would say more likely he's not one of the 5 best, but there isn't a good reason for him not to.
So you're not like all the way out on him though.
No, he's not going to be a bust or anything.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Oh,
That's
he
fair.
actually tied for 5th last year. I'm not sure what the other one was. So Drew Brees has the record. Drew Brees has 2nd. Tua has 3rd. Goff has 4th. And it's a Drew Brees Drake May tie for 5th.
Tua is 3rd.
Yep.
Wow.
That was 2024. Interesting, because that wasn't the big Jalen Waddle year. Jalen Waddle didn't even have 1,000 yards that year.
No. That is fascinating. I
That
guess
is.
just they weren't going for yards; they were just going for efficiency.
Right. They're
So
going to Tyreek.
So Henry, you were pretty close on most of the passing ones outside of the interceptions, but everything else was pretty spot on.
And I knew that I used the wrong strategy there. That was my thought, not his.
For rushing here, you said that he would have more attempts. Fewer attempts.
Attempts, I'm kind of torn on.
So what's crazy? Last year he had 83 rushing attempts.
Right.
This year he's projected to have 82 rushing
Okay.
attempts, and you
Yeah.
said his rushing yards would be in the 400s, 355 right here, and then only 4 rushing touchdowns, which is kind of just what creates the difference with the projections and what you were having him do, or you were having his projections do right there. But so overall, when we look at this season for Bo Nix, we're looking at a pretty impressive season where he has 4,226 combined passing and rushing yards, 30 total touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Now, one of the things that Mike Clay didn't do, he didn't do like fumbles projected here, so we can't add that in. But 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Would you take almost a 3-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio, assuming everyone has 0 fumbles in this case?
I don't know. I don't know what a good one is. I
3
would
to
have
1
look.
is good.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I have like,
If you're over 2 to 1, you got a job.
right.
3 to
kinda
1.
looking through. I think he's capable better than 3 to 1. Because like Drake May, Jared Goff, Stafford, Dak was 3 to 1 exactly. Trevor Lawrence didn't get it. Caleb Williams did. Rodgers was better than 3 to 1. Jalen Hurts was better than 3 to 1. I mean, those are some of the guys who we were talking about though, who are at the end. Jacoby Brissett had 23-8, which is basically 3 to 1. I think you're capable of more.
Yeah,
wouldn't take that.
I think that's fair, and I think the easiest way to get this isn't upping the touchdowns, it's reducing those interceptions. Henry, you
Yeah.
pointed to 6 interceptions. If he gets to 6 interceptions, then you're talking about a 5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio, total touchdown to interception ratio that you would sign up for in a heartbeat right there. And that would also mean that he's more efficient as well. And you'd look at the completion percentage probably being like 67.5 or something. You're probably running the ball pretty darn well as well because you're not passing it all that often. That's the formula for success. We do have the DNVR count in the Toyota chat saying he'll take 3 to 1 all day. I think 3 to 1 is, I'll just go back to what I've kind of said about some other stats. I would be happy with it if we're ending the season with 3 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. Yeah. Sign up for it though. I think you're right, Henry. I think you could do better.
Yeah. And it's like look through again, like that feels like it's just like par in the NFL. Like Jackson Dart had exactly 3 to 1. Michael Penix had exactly 3 to 1. Dylan Gabriel, 10 games. So, and that's why, like, I don't know. I don't think the touchdowns and interceptions are correlated. That's why the ratio thing, I just never dug too deep into it because it's like touchdowns compared to pass attempts or like interceptions compared to pass attempts, not necessarily at each other. Because you go through and say, like, Dylan Gabriel, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That alone looks awesome.
Small sample size, though.
Exactly. And that's why, like, I look at the 7 touchdowns in 10 games and say 7 and 2 isn't good because that 7 needs to be 15. Even if that 2 becomes a 6
to be
in those
fair,
10 games.
2 is good in 10 games, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like he did good. He did well protecting the ball, but you also just need a little bit more juice out of your quarterback. So yeah, I think 3 to 1 when you just look through everybody. To me, that seems to be like par for a quarterback in the NFL. And so I think I'm I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't want par. I want better than par. And if it happens, I'm not going to be out on Bo Nix or anything. But you hope for better than what is maybe like the median outcome.
Very fair. And it's that what's interesting about this conversation is we got people feeling things on both sides. You want better than the median. We have another person saying he could do a lot better. Shout out to Tommy. I also did see another chat that said absolutely you sign up for that all day. Here's why you would sign up for it in this bubble that we're living in these Mike Clay projections. Got really good news about how it compares to the rest of the AFC West. We're going to talk about that coming up next.
Shout out to our friends over at Shopify. If you have a business, Shopify can help you out with all sorts of different things. 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. is done through Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses all around the world. And there's a reason why everybody chooses it, because whether you're trying to get started, whether you're looking to grow, Shopify can make it easy to build a professional online store with hundreds of customizable templates that fit your brand. Also, they have built-in AI tools that can help create product descriptions, write page headlines, even enhance your product photos. So that when it's time to find customers, they make it simple for you to get all of your stuff searchable on the internet, as well as run email and social campaigns without needing a full marketing team behind you. Best of all, everything from their inventory to payments to analytics and shipping even lives in one place. So it's all right there. You can spend less time managing your business. You can go to shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. And get a $1 per month trial at shopify.com/allcity.
Game Time has something for everyone right now. We're in full-blown concert season, and I'm over at GameTime.co. You can also be on their app over at Game Time. And they've got Darius Rucker, my guy, coming to Red Rocks Amphitheater later this month. They've got Sam Barber, AC/DC tickets. Olivia Dean's going to be at Ball Arena. They got PBR Bulls and Beats Feet Band at Canvas Stadium up in Fort Collins. Hillary Duff at Red Rocks. They have got it all. Zach Brown, I can keep going. And of course, they've got your Denver Broncos tickets already up there. Jags at Broncos tickets as low as $193 with their all-in pricing. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to every type of game and concert and sporting event. Anything you can think of that has tickets, Game Time's got them. Download the app today and create an account, and then use that code DNVR to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account and redeem with that code DNVR for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Shout out to everyone tuning in with us. Really appreciate you rocking and rolling with us. Broncos report to training camp in 3 weeks from tomorrow. Rookies report to training camp in just 2 weeks. Things are getting hot in Broncos country. We're getting close to Broncos football, and things are really getting hot in Broncos country by looking at these projections from Mike Clay over at ESPN. Henry, Mike Clay, not Matt, not Matt Miller.
Yeah.
So Mike Clay putting these projections out, and again, these numbers are typically going to always be a little muted. Like, who do you think's the worst quarterback in the NFL this coming year? If you had to predict the projections,
Ooh.
who?
That's tough.
Okay. Now let me make
Probably
it
Browns.
Let me make it a little tougher. Okay, that's a good one. I'll look at the Browns.
But I mean, they probably split it between the two.
And that's what. So my next question, I'm going to look at the Browns, but my next question is, who is the worst quarterback that plays most, like 15, 16, 17 games? Actually, the Browns one is really effed up. They have the Browns playing Deshaun Watson in all 17 games, and at the same time having Shedeur Sanders play all 17 games. That is the most Browns thing of all time, to like not be able to choose. And Henry, you might be just spot on with this one. They have a combined, so Deshaun Watson, 8 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Shedeur, 7 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. They have 15 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. I think you nailed it on the head in terms of the worst quarterback room right there.
I think Giants. Would the Giants be right down there?
Ooh,
Jackson Dart.
That is another really good one right there. Let's find the New York Giants. The New York Giants with Jackson Dart are projected. Jackson Dart's projected to have 21 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So he clearly doesn't get to that.
Better than Malik Willis?
Oh, no. Malik Willis rushing, though. Let's see.
Right.
No. Good one. You nailed it. Malik Willis plays all 17 games, has 13 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and only 3 rushing touchdowns. Doesn't even get to 2-1, including the rushing touchdowns right there. That has to be it.
Yeah, and those would be the big ones. I guess you could throw the Jets in, but I think
actually
even the Steelers. But I don't think if Rodgers
Smith
just did what he did last year, they're going to be fine.
Geno Smith is at least a little more entertaining than those other quarterbacks. 20 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. So I mean, he's slinging it around, but not successfully.
What did they say about the Raiders?
That's what I was curious.
So, well, I want you to guess. What do you think they say about the Raiders? And I'll give you a hint. They do have them splitting time.
Oh, I just don't buy that. And they can say it all they want, but Baker was the last quarterback drafted number 1 overall, did not start week 1. And
you don't even buy that he's not going to start week 1?
I can't. Wow. It's just a crazy thing to do.
I think
and Baker was in
1.
by. I think Baker might have started week 2. I think he might have only sat the first week. I could be wrong, but
I think because they had they had Tyrod Taylor there, and I think he got hurt. And so Baker started like a Thursday night football game, and they won, and the city went absolutely bananas.
Let's see. So rookie year. So he didn't play the first 2 games, and he didn't start the third, but he was 17 of 23 for a little over 200 yards.
Okay, so almost, yeah.
Beat the Jets. So yeah, I just maybe it really is Kirk Cousins for 2 weeks, but I mean, okay. So if they're saying it's split, I would say in total 25 touchdowns, between them 3,500 yards and 13 interceptions.
Nailed the interceptions.
Okay.
13 interceptions combined. 3 of those interceptions come from Kirk Cousins. 10 come from Fernando Mendoza. So they think Kirk Cousins starts the season and then gets benched pretty quickly because Kirk Cousins goes for 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yeah, he's getting benched if he does that. Mendoza goes for 3,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So they end with 3,800 passing yards, almost 39, 18 passing touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and then there are 2 rushing.
How many passing yards did the Broncos have?
The Broncos had a little bit more than just Bo on his own because they expect some garbage time stats for Jared Stidham. But the Broncos, 4,032 passing yards total. That's 161 coming from Stidham, 3,871 coming from Bo.
If the Broncos only have 100 more passing yards than the Raiders this year, there will be riots.
The riots?
Yep.
You leading them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Riots down
I
the
usually
streets
don't
of
lead
Colfax?
riots, but no, maybe.
Yeah.
I might be in there.
I don't know about full riot for me, but yeah, there would be some upset people. But that's what I'm saying about these stats. None of these stats are like, no one in the league has more interceptions than touchdowns in these projections because they're just a little muted. So that kind of gives some good color into why Bo's stats are really good, but they don't jump out to you at like being so good. So let's look at 2 other guys so Bo obviously way better stats than the Raiders with 14 touchdowns for Fernando Mendoza, 10 interceptions, and Bo's at 26-11 right there. So way better there. Let's look at Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and compare them to Bo Nix because I still think nationally that people are so unbelievably high on Mahomes. And look, I get it, but he has had 2 down years. And Justin Herbert has actually had 2 pretty good statistical years. He just melts down in the playoffs. And obviously this is just regular season. So you would expect, or at least I would expect, Mike Clay to be going over the moon for Justin Herbert, especially with Mike McDaniel joining the staff. And I would expect him to have some really, really impressive stats. And I think these stats that we're about to look at, let's first look at Patrick Mahomes' stats, what he has, what Mike Clay has Mahomes doing. He has Mahomes going for 65% completion, 3,993 passing yards, so slightly more than Bo. Fewer rushing yards than Bo, only 326 rushing yards. And then here's where it gets interesting. 26 passing touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes, so the same as Bo. 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 fewer than Bo, and 12 interceptions, 1 more than Bo. Henry, when I look at this, I think that he has Bo having a better year. So Mahomes ends up with slightly more yards rushing and passing combined, one more interception than Bo, obviously worse, and one fewer touchdown than Bo, obviously worse as well.
Yep. And a tick better on the completion percentage.
Yep, exactly. That's a multiple MVP sort of caliber guy, obviously a multiple time Super Bowl winner. And he has Bo going toe to toe. I would give the advantage to Bo in these stats. If you did a blind stat thing, I would be picking Bo every single time. I'd give away the extra 50 yards that he has total and take the one fewer interception and the one more touchdown as well. And it's kind of the exact same story with Justin Herbert. Let's pull up Justin Herbert's stats that Mike Clay has predicting. And Justin Herbert also beats him slightly in the completion percentage. I believe his is half a percentage more, maybe 1% more. 3,846 pass yards with 406 rushing yards. So he gets Bo just slightly in the total yards. Justin Herbert right there with 26 passing touchdowns. So Mike Clay believes that Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Bo Nix are all going to have 26 passing touchdowns and the exact same number of interceptions as Bo with 11, but only 2 rushing touchdowns. So Bo ultimately beats him with 2 more touchdowns. And very similar stats all the way around. Now you hear we can bring up the graphic comparing them all. It is pretty crazy how Justin Herbert, a guy that's viewed in the MVP conversation kind of year in and year out, and obviously Mahomes, how I arguably think, or I would pick, that he has Bo having the best statistical year here.
Yeah, at the very least, they're all just right there, which is good. And honestly, maybe he should be. Just... the Chiefs don't have weapons. The only weapon they have is Rashee Rice, and he spends half the time in jail. So
I thought you were going to say Travis Kelce, and now he's married and maybe just focused too much on
it. It all goes downhill once you get married, man.
Wow. Clip that. Send it to your wife.
Yes. Send it to Yaya.
I'll tell it to her in her face. Don't worry. It's fine.
My gosh, that's awful.
I love her. She knows how I am. It's okay. She knows that we're messing around.
Dion, can you slap you here for us right now for his wife? Yep, he just did. Thank you, Dion.
Yeah. But I mean, so Travis Kelce just does what he did last year, plays every game, has 850 yards and 5 touchdowns. Where would 850 yards rank for the Broncos? Probably 3rd.
Yeah.
5 receiving touchdowns. You hope not 3rd, but right around there.
Yeah, maybe 4th.
Right. And so when you're talking weapons...
RJ had 12 last year.
Right. And so Rashee Rice, first of all, who knows how much he even plays... if that's your 1 and 2 in some order, Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, that's not Courtland Sutton, Jalen Waddle. And then after that, Tyquan Thornton, Xavier Worthy. And if you think, again, Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks ever, Bo Nix, just ascending. And people like to say what a guy is before we know what he is just for fun. But the point is, as long as you just keep climbing, then we'll see where you're at the end. And so for him at his point in his career, if he can get within range, those weapons should be enough to kind of balance things out, especially just given where the Chiefs won 6 games last year. They were not a good football team in any way. And so I think that the math adds up in that way. You have one quarterback who, for now, if you're making a stupid list, then your stupid little list that is pointless would have to have Mahomes in front of Bo Nix. But again, where Bo might get there, Bo has the weapons that should close the gap.
What about Herbert?
Yuck. I mean, who even is his weapon? Quentin Johnston?
Lad.
No, he's been bad. He's not good anymore.
No, Lad's good. Great.
What?
No.
16 games, 789 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but
combining with his rookie year, though,
he would be a wide receiver 3. But rookie year, they were feeding him. They're like, "This is the Lad McConkey. We're playing through the slot," and that's the only way you get anything out of a slot receiver. Same thing with the tight end. Unless you're going to build the offense around all those option routes for the guy in the middle, whether it's tight end or slot, it's just not worth that much. That's what happened to Hunter Renfrow with the Raiders. He has the 1,200 yards, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, how did this guy fall?" And it's because if you build the offense around creating a one-on-one for him and letting him go wherever he wants, it's going to work. But if you're just asking him to do whatever, it doesn't work. And that was the key to all the Patriots offenses, where you just let the tight end and slot receiver work off each other, and one of them will be open. Lad McConkey is, if you wanted to get 1,000 yards out of him, you could go get 1,000 yards out of him. He just isn't good enough to be worth doing that. It's similar to the Marvin Mims conversation, where you say you could really get a lot from Marvin Mims, but in doing that, you're going to be running a lot of the jet sweeps and screens, and if you lean too far into that, then you might be taking away from what you really want to be doing on offense, and it puts him in that kind of in between spot. So yeah, I mean, Lad McConkey, I guess is I don't even know. It's him and Quentin Johnston in some order.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly taking Court and Jalen.
Right.
And, probably even take Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims / Pat Bryant, however you want to look at that, before I'm taking those two.
Right. And so I think that's where he also has bad weapons, and you could debate him and the Chiefs and which one's better. But Mahomes is just better than him. And so that's going to be why there might be just a little bit more of a gap. But all three of them kind of, on average, balancing out to the same place. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, you're talking about how Mahomes and Herbert are in tough places with the weapons they have. Yahir's in a tough place. He just put himself in a very tough place. The chat is coming after him hard after his comments. He did clarify in the Twitter chat in all caps. He says, "I love my wife, guys."
To be fair, it wasn't supposed to be in all caps, but I accidentally clicked it. It's fine.
What? No, Yahir, you're supposed to be screaming that from the top of the mountain.
I do love my wife. So many people have seen her.
Maybe I always tell you to keep your mic on. Maybe this is a time you actually mute yourself.
It's gonna be okay.
Get out before it gets even worse.
I'll show this to my wife. She's gonna appreciate the chat. She's gonna think it's gonna be funny. It's fine.
And then Henry. So we look at these stats and they're pretty close. I give the nod to Bo here. Here's where you certainly give the nod to Bo when it comes to team wins. The Broncos are projected, and I know you're going to love this. The Broncos are projected. Actually, no. Let's start with the Raiders. They're projected to have 5.1 wins.
Interesting. I would have gone higher. Again, it's a tough division, but I do think, like, if you just go through and try to rank like the best players in the AFC West, I mean, Max Crosby's somewhere in that top 5. Brock Bowers is the best tight end. He's the second best tight end in the NFL, so he'd rank up there on that list. Like when you pay a Tyler Linderbaum who's been to multiple Pro Bowls as a center, you would think he'd be one of the best offensive linemen in the division. And they have a couple of other decent pieces there. Genty might be kind of or I guess it's the quarterback that decides. But Genty, if he's, one of the 10 best running backs in the NFL, could really open things up. And if he's not, then that could throw. But I do think that they have some top end talent. They'll make some plays. And so that's why I'd take the over on the 5.1. I think 6 is more likely than 5.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. The Chargers are third in the division with 9.5 wins.
Yeah. I feel like just pencil them in for 9.5 every year.
And it's either going to be 9-8 and they miss the playoffs, or 10-7 and they make the playoffs and they lose in the first round on the road.
9.5 every year.
I like that. The Chiefs, 9.9 wins.
I mean, they're a tough one.
Essentially.
I mean, they won 6 games last year. There are very few teams who I would rather have played than the Chiefs last season, just given what they were. And they hope to be better this year, obviously. I don't know that any of the moves that they made actually made them any better. Like, you get Kenneth Walker. You also have starting cornerbacks. Man, a starting secondary. Yeah. No He Williams. Mm-hmm. Or no, is that Noel? It's N-O-H-L. Noel Williams. Mansour Delane.
Yeah.
Who could be good. Rookie corners are a lot of fun to play against. Kader Kuhu from the Dolphins.
Kader Kuhu.
Yep. Alohi Gilman, the Notre Dame safety, who I don't think has the athleticism to play free safety, but they think so. And Shamari Connor, who has made plays before, but never as arguably the best piece. So, like,
that's why I'm saying, man, Jalen Waddle goes off in week 1.
Right. And so, like, that 9.9 wins, I feel like I have to take the over, but also if you feel like you have to be projecting Patrick Mahomes to win 9.9 games, I can't say that's wrong. That's how surprised could you be if the Chiefs go win 13 games this year? You just can't be.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with Chargers at 9.5. I think your reasoning was right. Chiefs at 10 wins essentially. And here's what really puts Bo Nix over the top. Broncos kind of run away with the division with 10.5 wins. The Chargers and Chiefs are 0.4 games within each other, and the Broncos kind of blow them out with over an extra win. So they have the Broncos at 11 wins right there. You put that, and I'm a guy that believes in quarterback wins being a stat. You put that with I think Bo slightly beating them out in the other categories as well. Bo Nix is projected to have the best year for a quarterback in the AFC West in a pretty damn loaded quarterback room in the AFC West. I would sign up for that in an absolute heartbeat. You're winning the division. You have the best quarterback in the division for this year, at least. And he's the youngest one that's competing in this division, at least. So, like, his trajectory is only going through the roof. Next offseason would be an absolute blast. Going into the 2027 season, there would be no hope too large for the Broncos that year. And maybe you're talking about... Exactly. Yeah. So that's why maybe you're talking about, like, back-to-back Super Bowl champs going into the 2027 season.
Yeah. They obviously have all the pieces. They did it last year. They were, to me, the second or third best team in the NFL last year, which is more than good enough to win a Super Bowl. It's just hard to be the same team twice. And you have losing JFM and Jonathan Cooper when your strength as a team was the pass rush. Not even that, the identity of the team. Like, it wasn't... How many things did the Broncos lead the NFL in? Right. I think it's just sacks. I think it's just sacks. It wasn't pass defense. Like, they were second in rush yards per game.
If you want to get specific, I could say RJ Harvey rookie touchdowns.
Right. But that doesn't quite change things. So,
yeah, I mean, to your point, sacks.
Like, that was the identity because they not only led the NFL.
Oh,
they not only
comeback wins.
Right. Oh, they did do that.
So those two things.
Yeah. But so they not only led the NFL, they led the NFL by 10 sacks. And not only did they do that last year, they led the NFL by 10 sacks the year before. And they are not... I would be surprised if they lead the NFL in sacks this year, just because they don't... You lose two of the four guys who are your key pieces there. So that is kind of the one hurdle that you have to cross, and you have to hope that everything else that you've done as a team this offseason is going to counteract that. And if it counteracts that, then you wind up in a situation where who knows if it'll just be the Seahawks and the Rams who are right up there with you again. And maybe the Bills deserve to be in that group, but since the Broncos beat the Bills, I'll say Broncos clearly just one of the three best teams last year. If you're able to counteract the sack thing by adding Jalen Waddle and Bo Nix becoming more efficient, and maybe J.K. Dobbins stays healthy, or if not, they have a real backup running back who can be productive and carry a load like that, then you're right back where you were, which is where you're trying to be.
Yeah, pause.
Carry a load. Yep. There we go. That's the one.
I like how the pause, you just repeat it.
Yep, you just work backwards.
So if you want to know how this relates and connects to the rest of the NFL, since he didn't do like passer rating or QBR or other things like that some people measure, he compared in terms of fantasy points, which maybe isn't always the best way to rank.
Nope, but that's his thing.
But exactly. So Bo Nix is the sixth best quarterback in terms of fantasy point output. That's pretty good. I'd sign up for that right now. And in terms of wins, the 10.9 wins is sixth in the NFL. Henry, would you sign up for the sixth most wins? Not 11 wins, but the sixth most wins in the NFL. That means you're probably a three seed.
No. 3 seeds don't win Super Bowls. Like, they just... the path to the Super Bowl is to play at home, which means getting the 1 seed. And if... I can't remember. We had all these stats 6 months ago about what the 1 seed means. But the Broncos win, I think in their history, 80% of their home playoff games, and road playoff games, they win like the opposite. And throughout the rest of the NFL, I think it's somewhere in the 70s, the home team wins. So if you're at home, there's a good chance. If you're on the road, there's not. If the goal is to win a Super Bowl, you don't have to get a 1 seed, because I think like half the teams that win the Super Bowl don't get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be in the 1 seed that has a good chance, and not the 2 seed that occasionally does it, the 3 seed that occasionally does it, and certainly not the wild card who almost never wins a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then to add to that, the Broncos were the 1 seed last year and probably absolutely would have been in the Super Bowl if it weren't for a broken ankle. So no, I'm not signing up to take a step back, even though it would guarantee you, I guess in this scenario, you would host 1 home game at least. But yeah, no.
And then you're on to Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying no as well. And man, if I would have told you this 2 years ago, we would be signing up for all of these numbers. It's a great thing that we're like skeptical of these. And we're like, nah, I'm going to gamble. Instead of the 3 seed, I think the Broncos can get the 2 or the 1 seed. Instead of 26 touchdowns, we think Bo can be at 35, 38 total touchdowns. We think Bo can definitely get to 4,000 yards. So fun conversation. Shout out to Mike Clay for putting this together. And shout out to Yahir. Actually, shout out to Henry for getting really close to guessing these stats. And shout out to Yahir for putting the question of the day. Before we get to the question of the day, Henry, any final thoughts on this conversation? I'm sure we'll be looking at these numbers in a different way.
We'll be talking about the Chiefs again, and we'll be talking about the Chargers again, and we'll be talking about Mendoza and Kirk Cousins again.
And I'm curious what he has the Broncos doing sack-wise, if you think it might go down. The numbers probably definitely go down again because everything's muted. Does he have them leading the league in sacks? What about Waddle, Cortland Sutton? Both those guys well over 1,000. We'll look into that. What about JK, RJ, Jonah? It's going to be fun to look at those predictions as well.
Yeah. Does Cord or Waddle have more receiving yards? I'd be curious.
Do you think they're both? If I set the line combined for predicting the projections at 2,100.
Under.
Under?
I'd say way under.
2,000?
Oh, no, under.
For both of those guys combined?
I'd say like 1,800.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, that's 900 each.
Wow. So you don't have 1,000 yards?
I mean, so...
Don't look.
No, I would never.
Can't look.
The receiving yards. So the sportsbook right now has... I'm just going to search the name.
I think they are both under 1,000, aren't they?
Yeah. Waddle's at 874.
Oh.
Sutton at 799.
Oh, well then you were way right. So it should be, I should have set it at 1,700.
Puka at 1324.
Wow.
That's the big one. Is anybody else?
Man, that is crazy disrespect. I'd smash both of those overs.
Yeah, I probably will. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that can happen.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
If you play 14 games instead of 17, you're not going to get to 1,000.
Yeah, let's say you start 14-1 on the season. You bench the guys the last 2 games because you're just getting healthy and still finish 14-3, but those guys don't get it. But I guess if you start 14-1, they're probably both over 1,000 at that point anyways.
What do you think Rashid Shaheed's line is?
Rashid Shaheed for receiving yards? Yep. I would say it's 500.5.
499.5.
Oh, no.
Almost.
It's a yard off.
Almost.
Dang.
Also 1324 for JSN. So that ties. And Jamar Chase. So it seems like that's just that group of receivers. They all say 1324.5.
Probably pretty fair with that.
Yeah.
With those 3.
Right.
Man, that's fun. It's going to be fun to continue to look at these stats, but let's get to the question of the day that Yahir dropped in the chat. By the way, Yahir loves his wife a lot. The question of the day.
Real quick, I do want to shout out Ronk82, celebrates 10th month membership with DNVR.
Let's go.
So, good morning, DNVR Sports Podcast. Go Bo Broncos.
Thank you so much, Ron Q82. 10 months in, and we appreciate it. So, who's the most underrated player on the Broncos roster heading into the 2026 season? Do I ask Henry? Do you want to give your answer, or should we read some of these?
To me, it's J-Mac.
Yeah.
And it always will be.
Wow.
Again, it's because he is really, really good and just will never be appreciated. Even locally, just not. How many guys finish top 4 in All-Pro voting and are seen like J-Mac is?
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. It's not. It doesn't line up. I think that's the easy answer.
I like it. Swarley says Troy Franklin. We have all HMAC saying Pat Bryant 13, the most underrated. We have Tony saying going with Evan Ingram. That's an interesting one. We got Tommy saying most underrated is Bo Nix. He is not getting the love he deserves. Swarley says everyone's sleeping on Troy Franklin. Tony also saying Troy. So Troy getting a lot of love here. Wyoming Cowboy says the most underrated player is Alex Singleton. He's always around the ball, which has been a blessing and oddly a curse for him. Cord Bredimus goes for Dallin Bentley. All right, going with the rookie. John Joda says Chris Abrams Drain. So same room is J-Mac. Zachary Wiseman says, I think RJ's becoming mad underrated. I like that one. Brian goes with Brandon Jones. That's a good one. Jose says Drew Sanders. Wow, that's a hot
Calling a
take right
shot.
there. I like that. Todd is going with Riley Moss and Marvin Mims, so one for each side of the ball. The Ron Q82 is going with Dondre Tillman, and then we have Jade Barron from Mason, as well as Court asking if Jonah Coleman is underrated. And then we got one super chat coming in. I love all of those answers right there. Man, it's different between locally and nationally. Like locally, it's probably Alex Singleton in my book. Nationally, Bo is a good answer there. I don't think people really know of Troy Franklin on a national level yet, but he did have 800 yards last year. Like Broncos country knows who he is. So those are some good ones in there. We got one super chat that we're going to hit in overtime. Go to thednvr.com where we will continue the conversation online. And we'll be getting to super chat in overtime over at thednvr.com. And this super chat is coming in from our friend Corn Bredimus, who says, thanks for the show today, guys. Appreciate my daily Broncos food for the soul. We appreciate you, Corn Bredimus, for providing your cornbread to our show and rocking and rolling with us. Even in the off season, we have some more it coming in. Wattenberg from the DNVR account, our guy, saying that's a really good one, especially the Broncos have a really good offensive line, and he's the guy that's the least talked about on the offensive line, and the Broncos just signed him to $12 million a year, so shows how they feel about him. That's a great one. Jonah Ellis, that's also a good one. And I believe we got to most of them right there. I love it. Great question of the day. Great conversation, Henry. We've got some more good conversations coming the rest of this week. I believe we're going to be joined by RK tomorrow. So stay tuned to 11 a.m. tomorrow to continue the Broncos conversation.
We all silly like the mayor.